Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from crafttestdummies.com, and today I'm reviewing an adhesive, and this is the Deco Foil Hot Melt Adhesive from ThermoWeb. And what this is a heat reactive adhesive that is perfect for foiling and other projects. Let's take a look. If you've ever worked with a fusible adhesive, this is very, very similar. So what you have is the material that's actually printed on a piece of, this is like parchment paper, but it's just a layer, and you can kind of see, I'm going to pull this apart for you. So there you can see that it's just this plastic film that has the paper backing. So what makes this a fun product though is that when you heat it, it becomes sticky, and then you can use it with your foils. And of course, because this is made by ThermoWeb, it's meant to be used with the iCraft Deco Foils, but of course you can use any foils as long as they're the Mylar backed variety. So let's take a closer look. So obviously the reason why this is interesting is because you're supposed to be able to cut it with punches and die cutting machines and get wonderful intricate shapes. So this one I'm showing you here, I'm still weeding it out, which you have to do a little bit of. This is a two-part die from a Sizzix die, and of course because it's a large Sizzix steel rule dies, it cut absolutely beautifully. Next I have these thin rule dies. This might be from my mind's eye or memory box, I don't remember. Anyways, I tried cutting them out and it was a little fussy. You can see here that the release paper actually pulled back, but I think all of the adhesive is actually still intact. But what this means is that I'll have to make sure that I put the parchment paper on top when I go to iron this so that it doesn't gum up my iron. Now I tried it here and I used a little bit of parchment paper or deli wrap on top, and I found that it just worked a whole lot better. So that would be my tip of the day, is to use a little bit of deli wrap to provide that layer on top of the sticky side so that it will release more easily from your thin dies. So here's another example where I used that sandwich of deli paper and I got it to cut absolutely beautifully. That was just, for something so delicate like this, I think you really need to. And considering that you do have to pay attention, I mean, the adhesive works one way or the other way. It doesn't really matter. But if you want the paper part to be on the top so that it's easier for you to iron down right away, then you have to keep that in consideration when you're running it through and making your die cuts. Now I'm going to tell you I was most skeptical about the punches, because sometimes punches are little and intricate and they just don't play nicely with things like this. So these ones were pretty easy. They're, you know, a nice simple shape. This is a Martha Stewart punch. Actually, I think all of these are. And this one is a little delicate snowflake. Really excited about that. And then there was this one. And really, again, the key is to making the sandwich. So here's a layer of deli wrap, and then my thermofusible adhesive in the middle. Now watch this. Just slide it in. Give it a nice squeeze. And there you go. I mean, that is just as clean and as beautiful as anything. I also used my Silhouette die cutter, and I had to play with the settings a little bit. I found that 5 was a better setting for me. But look at this. You can even use your die cutter to create the images for you. Now just a little reminder that for ease of use, make sure that you flip your image over horizontally, or like in a t-shirt fashion, so that you can just pick it up and use it right away. This one seemed to snag a little bit, but I think I just have to weed it and it will actually work. But that's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Okay, so next I'm going to try it with the Purple Cow's heat laminator machine. And here I've got the backing paper still on and the sticky side theoretically down. So Put that in here. Put that in here. It says to put it in parchment, which they give you in the container. And now I'm going to feed it through since I know it's ready. Now you have to peel off the backing, and it really helps if you have a little pokey tool, but of course I don't, but my fingernails work great. And there I can see the image there. And I'm just going to put some foil over the top and run it through again. And here I can already see where it was working. And I like to just burnish it down real quick with an old credit card or room key. And there you go. You can see now this is a textured cardstock, so it missed in certain places, but the overall effect is pretty spectacular. Here's a piece of hot melt adhesive that I cut using the silhouette, and then I ran it through the laminator machine, and you can see that it transferred well and got really shiny. Now here the die did not cut particularly well, so it looks a little wonky, but I would not hesitate to try this again. Now, of course, you can also use your iron for this project. So you would go ahead and put your hot melt adhesive in between the layers of parchment paper that they give you, iron for about 30 seconds, then wait for it to cool before peeling off the backing paper. Cut your piece of foil about the same size as your image, and then of course, iron again for about 30 seconds, go over it a few times, and then let it cool and remove the excess foil and your image will appear. So let's take a look at some of those other fabric samples. So this is quilter's cotton. Now these have not been washed yet. I'll show you still on the website of what they look like afterwards, but the fabric still moves a little bit and I don't see any real cracking or flaking. This is synthetic felt, which is pretty spectacular. This is t-shirt material. Again, notice how it moves. And I do not really see any measurable cracking or peeling up. This is an old necktie. Kind of spectacular though, right? That's my word of the day. And then this is some olefin, which is a synthetic material. And I just wanted to see if it would stick. And oh my gosh, it sticks and it looks fabulous. Now, here's what's not to do. Remember I told you I used that parchment paper? It's actually like a deli wrap. And the white backing paper came off. And so I thought, well, I'll just use that parchment, it's not even parchment, the deli wrap paper as a release. Guess what? It doesn't release, it fuses, and then it becomes permanent. So make sure that you remove any of that, you know, plasticky wrap stuff before you iron it. Otherwise, that becomes part of your design. Ta-da! All right, friends, I hope you found this video helpful and or informative. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section down below. Also, make sure you check some of the related videos on this. We have one for the Deco Foil from iCraft, the difference between foils and leaves and flakes, oh my, and also ways to apply foil without a machine. So all of those are good related videos that you might find helpful, and I'll have links and also in the cards. So make sure you take a look out for those. Again, thank you so much for watching and sharing your time with us here. Please click this box to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or informative. Thank you so much for watching, and have a crafty day.